There are a couple of ways that you can insert a layer into another layer so it looks like it's part behind and part in front. But one of my favorite ways to do this is to create what I call a layer sandwich. So I have the background, my clouds, and I have the duck above it. First off, background layers can't do a lot of stuff. You can't move them, you can't rename them very easily because it is a background. But that is pretty easy to fix. If you just double click this layer, you can rename it to anything you want, say OK, and now it becomes a layer like anything else, and I can reorganize and remove them if I want. So, like I said, we're going to make a layer sandwich. I have my clouds down here on the bottom. I have my duck in the middle. I would like to make a second version of my clouds. So selecting my layer, I'm going to click on the little line and triangle situation up here and duplicate that layer. Now I have two copies, but they're identical, of the cloud. And I do want to be cautious. I don't want to move it. So we'll just get off of that tool for a second. So 2 layers of the cloud, duck happening here. I would like my duck to be in between my cloud layers, like a sandwich. Okay? At this point now, we're going to take and add a layer mask onto this top layer. Again, a layer mask black is going to hide, and white is going to show. So if I hide the clouds over the duck, then obviously we see the duck. If I reverse it now, we can put clouds back on top. Now, at the moment, I'm not being particularly picky. Okay? I would suggest, one, being far more thoughtful to start with. So I'm going to hide that layer. Let's decide exactly where this duck, oops, we just moved that by accident. Let's check the duck, where the duck should go. All right, so I'm going to have the duck be behind this cloud edge. That's where I want it to be. So we're going to let it sit down under there, and we're going to come back, and let's just start this mask over again. So there's my full mask, right? We haven't done anything to it yet. And now, with black, I know that I just put that duck behind this ridge. I know that's where it is. So I'm going to start now hiding clouds behind this edge. So now all of the specific selections that you have been doing up until this point to make clean selections, cutting out your objects, whatever, we're going to do the same thing now, but with the cloud. So you need to get really specific at this particular case about this edge. So we got to get in close, and you can see my dark to light, and we will now hide with a much littler brush, using my left bracket key to go smaller, and now take some time and energy to follow this edge. Now, in this particular situation, we're talking about clouds. So my hardness is all the way up at 100%. That's probably not a super great idea. I'm not sure all the way fuzzy is quite the way to go. I think that's going to make it a little too blurry, although actually, having tried it, it doesn't look so bad. But can you see the softer edge happening? So maybe we'll make it just a little bit harder. We can go ahead and increase our brush a little bit. And I'm going to go back and soften that first edge that I did, because that was awfully harsh. And I'm not going to go all the way here, but we'll scroll over and do a little section. Notice here in this particular example, we have darker blue here. So I would need to carve into there. That's part of what's going to help make this more believable. And you will just continue along, carving out that edge. You can increase your brush size when you've kind of gone next to the edge first. And make your way around until you've cut out the duck. So like I said, we're not going to bother to finish that together. But you can see this edge is starting to form. Now that I've gotten away from a little bit, I can see I have a kind of darker edge there. So I probably will go back with my brush And now probably a lower opacity, right? Because that's going to help me fade a bit. And we can soften there a little bit. But that's already becoming pretty believable that my duck is behind my cloud. And I haven't finished all the way, but you can see right there. And we did that by creating a layer sandwich. You could use this for all sorts of things. Doesn't have to be clouds. Whatever. If you need to slip something in to an image, often the solution is to duplicate your background.